You're a professional.
I like the little countdown. I feel like we should do like that.
I know. I feel like it's like
Live
fancy
from
over
our
here.
houses. It's the Successful Freedom
Live from my studio.
podcast
It's
on a
ridiculous.
Saturday afternoon.
The amount of studio lighting I have in this little back room of my house is so silly. And sometimes I'm like, I'm a grown up and I'm doing this.
You know what?
All right.
I think that's great, though. I
Yeah.
love it. I love that we're doing this. This is
I know
fun.
it's
I would rather be doing
hilarious.
this than like out running errands or
Oh
whatever.
no, this is so fun. I look forward to seeing you every week.
It's so fun to chit chat.
All right, I'm just filling in the comments and pinning it. So somebody asked me yesterday, they said, "You're dyslexic." I said, "Yes." And they said, "You're a screenwriter." I said, "I know, it's crazy."
It's crazy.
I was like, "I
How
even
how
have
have they
stuff
ever made
made."
it?
And he just looked at me like cross-eyed.
And you've written a book, almost two. Who would have thought?
That's wild, right? All right. But it just tells you like even like that, people don't realize what you can do when you really sit down. Like, yeah, I could just decide not to do it, or I could be like, hey, I found my voice and this is going to be extra hard, but we can still do it.
But we can still do it. Yeah, if you're determined to do it, you will.
All right, you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Episode 305. Here we are. I'm with my girl Christy Lee Lucier. Thanks for being on the show.
Hi. So excited.
um did you watch anything this week?
Yeah, well, we watched a couple of things this week.
Yeah, what you
So
catch?
on Monday we saw I finally got to see Wicked 2, and then
Okay.
we watched Primate, so we did a double feature.
I didn't watch that one yet.
Yeah, and
Was
Primate
it
just
was
came
it
out.
worth it, or was
Well,
it Primate worth it?
it was the mystery movie, so we went to Regal
Oh,
on Monday for
okay,
that,
that's fun.
and we kind of figured it was probably going to be that one, but um,
Yeah.
it's kind of just your pretty
It's a
solid kind of.
it's a thriller. It's a horror. What is it?
It's a horror. It's about
Okay,
the chimpanzee that kind of goes crazy and starts killing everybody at the house.
not a true story, right?
Well, not a true story, but it's based on some factual situations because I think in
Yeah.
the last 10, 15 years, there's been about three or four incidents where
Well, there was
pet
this.
chimpanzees have, yeah, gone a
Yeah,
little
there's this one
bananas.
lady had her face ripped off by a
Yeah,
chimp. I mean, it's insane.
it is. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Wow.
It was good. There was a lot of like really good sequences of tension. They did a really good job on kind of
Okay.
building on that. I think the opportunity was is that I think they went a little light with the chimpanzee because if
Budget.
anybody knows how strong those things are, I
Okay.
mean, they literally can like rip a car door off in like 2 seconds if they're that.
So do you mean they went light because like they showed them less because of budget, or they went light because it's like this thing is King Kong in a house and we don't want it just tearing everybody apart?
Correct. Yeah, they
Okay.
played more on this idea that which I think that there was a reason, and I think it was a writing reason, which is very
Yeah.
interesting. They went a little light with him on the showing kind of the strength and the violent nature as he starts to
Okay.
kind of go more down the road.
Yeah.
Now, spoiler alert, it's not a spoiler because it's really like literally right in the front title card. He ends up getting rabies, so that's what ends up happening. But
Oh, okay. All right.
I think what they did was they played on this element that they've kind of done some research and studies that some animals who start to kind of the rabies kind of starts to take over in the mind, um, they battle on this line between still trying to hang on to their normal sense of their own animal
Mhm.
humanity or
Yeah.
the rabies kind of taking over. And I
Sanity.
think that's what they were playing with because there was moments where he could recognize his person or he could do things he could normally do, but then it would just the switch would flip. And so a lot of people were like, "Oh, that would never happen." And I'm like, I'm wondering if that's where they were going because writing wise, I could see that's why they made that choice.
That definitely builds tension, doesn't it?
doesn't
And
it? Yeah.
yeah, I think that definitely works, and I can see that as a writing convenience. You know, like, hey,
Right.
let's just play this up so that the
Let's pull
movie
this up.
isn't
Yeah.
10 minutes long, and
Yeah. Yeah. So
it's not
it was
him
good.
locked in a room all day. Yeah,
It was a lot of fun. We enjoyed ourselves, and then we stayed for a double feature and watched Wicked 2. Um,
I
and
have to
I
ask you. I have to ask you. Did I ruin this movie for you?
No, you did not.
Okay, all right.
You did not
I
ruin this
felt
movie.
bad, so
There's a number of reasons why I think that's really funny. You didn't ruin it for me. So
okay.
I mean, I know the musical pretty well enough, and I was always questioning how they were going to make this second movie work. Like, how are we going to stretch this out? I can see the first movie. There's a lot more songs in the first act
For
anyway.
sure. Yeah.
So the first one made sense, and I thought, how are they going to do this with the second one? And watching it now, I understand what they did and adding a couple of extra new songs, original songs,
Right.
and things. Um, but what I find really funny is I was with my husband and then my friend Tom, and both of them don't like musicals at all. Like they're not really big musical people. Tom kind of a little bit, but they liked Wicked. They sat through it. They were like, this was very enjoyable. They really liked it. And this
Yeah.
one, I thought, okay, they're really not going to like this one because I've heard it's not as good as the first one. It doesn't have the catchy, fun songs.
Right.
And I was blown away at the end where they both were like, this one was better for them. And the reason,
Really?
yeah, it's crazy, but I know why.
Wow. Okay.
This one dove more into the depth of the story, and this really took the turn of the moral dilemma, and it really evaluated the internal conflict and the external conflict of all the characters that we didn't get to see in depth in the first one. The first one was just
Yeah.
real setup. And in this one, it really went into a lot of kind of, shall I say, darker spots or darker
Yeah.
places. And they really liked that element of it. I'm sorry, my cat. She's just, I don't know why
No,
she's
no,
fussing.
the cat is welcome. So, what I think you're right. I think the first movie is very cotton candy,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
the second movie does get darker.
it does,
I
and they like
I
that.
think that's a good take. I like that.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah.
It's interesting that you mentioned that because I watched all 8 of the Harry Potter movies
You did? Oh, I'm
because
so excited.
I'm a complete psycho, and
No, you're not.
I am, and so the first couple of movies, I just wanted to just look at the like the macro arc really
Okay, yeah.
of the characters, really to see where they land, and because I think it's kind of fun to do that. Like this
Yeah.
is not a thing normal people do, but I was like, I'm doing this, and then poor wife was dragged along. So I I like that the first couple of movies, it's like playtime at the wizard's castle. You know, they end each movie with praises and celebrations for all of the main characters, and it's all about, you know, will the house Gryffindor get enough points? Like those are the stakes, right?
Right?
Like,
Yeah.
are we gonna get it? But because they're little kids, it makes total sense. So you've got these little kids, and they're doing these adventures, and they can be kind of scary, but they're not dark movies, right? But then you get the Goblet of Fire, and a switch flips,
Oh, heck yeah.
and the show gets real dark, and then you've
Mhm.
got, you know, you've got one of the kids finally dies, which hasn't happened yet in all the movies, and that really shifts the entire narrative
It
and
does.
arc, you know. So I think as the kids get older, really, the arcs get darker and the stakes
Mhm.
get more serious. And I think
Yep.
that's interesting because really in life, right? You're a young kid, you're running around, you know, you're having fun and you're eating jelly beans that taste like boogers, you know, and you're being like that kid, right? And then as you get older, things start to get darker. You know, you start getting feelings you've never had before and jealousy and rivalries and all of that stuff. So I thought that was really cool that watching these movies is as the further you go, the darker they got, really. Um,
Oh, yeah.
and
Yeah.
and uh, Watching it the second time around, I didn't realize that Neville Longbottom could have been the chosen one the whole time, which I thought actually is
Oh,
really clever.
it happens, I mean, it happens in the
It's so
book, but
subtle.
that movie moment where you realize, like, he's actually the hero. Like, that's
Yeah,
the hero.
it's kind of
It's Mel.
cool.
It's
Yeah,
really cool, and I still love that, and I still hang on to that. I think that's
yeah.
great.
Right, because he's dorky, he looks kinda funny, and he's the friend that everybody they're friends with him because he's so lonely, and
Mhm.
so it's pretty cool to see that kind of outsider who's not in the clique have his big hero moment, so I
Yeah.
love that, watching that, and then like the Ron and Hermione thing and how they're always at each other's necks, I thought was great, and,
Yep.
yeah, I thought it was really good watching the long arc like that. So yeah, so that's what I watched. Do you have
I have to
Go ahead.
say, we also did something really interesting this week, and
Hmm,
I wanna talk about it because I wanna hear other people's thoughts or other writers' thoughts, but
hit me.
we did an experiment. So we went to see the original Conan the Barbarian in theater on Wednesday
Oh,
because Regal was playing
oh,
it. It was so good. I mean, it's always good.
that movie.
That movie, right? And you just
What are
see it
the
on the
rules
big
of a
screen.
warrior? Yep.
I just love it. And then we
Ah,
decided
that's
the next
awesome.
night, let's watch the 2011 remake.
No, don't do that. What are you
Let's
doing?
have a conversation about it. And
Don't
we
do
have
that.
not stopped talking about it. Now,
Ah,
here's why here's why I think it's unique or funny is because the reason I haven't stopped talking about it is not necessarily because I'm trying to do this comparison. To me, there's just no comparison.
yeah.
It's just let's get that out of the way. But 2011's film is the definition, the textbook definition of you don't know what kind of movie you want to do.
That's hilarious.
It's every 10 minutes, I was like, now we're in a different location and now it's a different tone and now everything looks different. What
Yeah.
is this movie?
It's
So,
just constant producer notes and rewrites.
and the
And
director too, I heard that the
yeah,
director
for
was
sure.
changing his mind. Yeah.
I I knew we were in trouble watching that film, Christy, when his mom is pregnant on the battlefield and then
Mm,
she delivers him on the battlefield. And
mhm,
I was like, there's no subtext here. I was
mm-mm.
like, this is in your face. He was born into battle,
Mhm.
literally. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh no, this is where
Yeah.
we're going. This
Are
is
we
how
doing
we're
that?
starting.
Yep. And then as a 10
Uh-oh.
year old kid, he's already a badass. So like nothing to learn, no growth.
Yeah.
He's already
Yeah.
a badass and he's already killed
Just
like 10
he's
people.
just rolling nat 20s left and right. Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
It's absolutely yeah. So I get you. Yeah. No subtlety and I agree. I agree. I mean, Jason Momoa, thank God his career recovered because a movie like
Right?
that can end your career in a snap.
Yeah. But
So
I'm really glad that like he went into Game of Thrones and went, okay, I'm gonna be the Conan I couldn't be in the movie. I'm gonna do that in Game of Thrones. And
yeah.
that's kind of what happened.
Yeah, well, he was kind of doing a couple of, indie flicks with no budget for a while there while he
Right.
was trying to figure it all out. So, thank God everything worked out. Now he's like a megastar.
Yep.
Um, all right, so industry news. The big shocker is that out there everybody's saying is that, and here's how we date ourselves, Christy. MTV is dead,
Oh,
right?
yes.
That's
Right.
but this is a bit misleading. So they canceled or shut down like 5 of their music video channels that were available, like the '80s, the '90s, the 2000s, like, those are all gone, and those
Yeah.
are all now repositioned to YouTube and streaming, right?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
they still have an MTV channel on air, on cable, but it is only it's reality shows.
It's the reality shows.
It's
Yeah.
just reality shows, that's all it is.
Hmm.
It might as well be the Food Network or, HGTV at this point.
Then
But
that's what
yeah,
it's called.
so what we knew is grew up is gone
Yeah.
and has pivoted to the change of the times. Isn't that sad?
Yeah, it's completely sad. I mean, I understand that the shift of the music industry shifted and went in a different direction than it did, but
Yeah.
it's yeah, I mean, MTV was just so groundbreaking for a number of reasons. But in all honesty, it was groundbreaking in a way that it brought a type of reality show to TV that had never been done before either with the
Yeah,
real world.
absolutely, for sure.
So I think holding on to that kind of legacy and and really kind of playing with that is fine, but
That's
it's
their whole
pretty,
identity now, though.
yeah, it's pretty
You know,
unfortunate. Yeah.
TRL, all those days are gone. So
Mhm.
yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, they did really launch that reality TV whole genre, basically.
And if that's the way to go and that's how they keep their little niche of this little slice of pie alive,
Yeah,
that's what they're going to do. I mean,
that's what people are trying to do is just survive at this point. Have you heard any industry news about the Warner Brothers Paramount at Netflix thing? The only thing I've heard is that Warner Brothers refused Paramount's second higher bid.
their second bid. Yeah, I heard the same thing. And
Okay,
kind of doing a couple of dives into some political aspects behind it, because obviously there's some political figures that the
for
names
sure.
keep coming up, like the Ellisons. But I mean, I kind of read an article that was talking about how the Ellisons were very, very clear to say that for them, the acquisition is not a want, it's a need. Like this has to happen. We're going to not stop until we get
This is very
it. Versus,
specific. Yeah.
yeah, versus them saying Netflix just, they could take it or leave it and be okay. I don't know. Oh, like, first, don't speak for Netflix because you don't know. But secondly,
What does
yeah,
that
like
mean?
if that's the case, Netflix would just be like, fine, take it, whatever. But they're not.
Yeah.
So, what's your argument here? Like, why is this desperation for the? It's an
Right. Why
absolute
do you
need.
need it? Because
Yeah,
I really doubt it's for the it's to save the movie industry. I really don't think they care about that.
they
So
don't
now
care.
I'm wondering what their portfolio, because they have struggled with money for the
Yeah.
past few years. So I'm
Mhm.
wondering if this is like, if we don't get this, we're going to be selling stuff off type of
Yeah.
thing. So
Yeah.
I'm very curious to see what happens in the next few weeks. Have
Yeah.
you had a chance to find any bad screenwriting advice for me?
I haven't this week. No, I really hadn't. I Last week I had a bunch, and this week I haven't heard too much.
You don't have much? Okay.
No.
Well, let me see if we have any screenwriting questions here from the audience who is listening. Hello, everybody.
Hi.
All right. Oh, we've got someone from Indonesia. Hello. And, well, that's interesting. Matthew Hebert asks, how do you write dialogue that goes back and forth between different languages?
Ooh.
A couple
Um.
ways to do it.
Yeah. Well, and I think the bigger question is the language that you want auto heard on screen is, are you kind of trying to go to that, jump to the second language, and then you're playing with a subtitle element? But what's your thought, Jeffrey?
There's a couple ways to do it. The easiest, cleanest way to do it, and as long as you're consistent with your formatting when you do this, is you do your action and then you have the character introduction, and then before the character starts speaking, you only do this one time. You do like an asterisk, and then you put Jabba the Hutt speaks in Huttese, right?
There you go.
And
Yeah.
then that's it. You never say it again. And then you write all of his dialogue. And all of his dialogue can read exactly how you and I speak, just in English. But
Mhm.
then when they shoot it, it'll be in Huttese. And whether they choose to put captions on that and translate it or not is really up to the filmmaker. So
Mhm.
that's the cleanest way to do it. Yeah,
Yeah.
the other way to do it is to just do it in whatever language it is, and then you can
Right.
do like brackets under it, saying what they're saying. It's a lot of
Sure.
extra work, and I don't feel it's necessary to do that.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense to do the asterisk format element, and your example works because that's not necessarily a language that you can hit the translate button in a software.
Well, you can do it with anything, but yeah.
But I've seen it in parentheticals too, where they kind of just put in the parenthetical, what language it's kind of spoken in. But yeah, that would be the kind of easiest way to do it.
Andrew Horn's got a great question. So he says, I got hit up to write a feature. Congratulations, Andrew. That's
Awesome.
amazing. But
That's
it's in a
great.
genre I really have no interest in. Oh, do you
Mhm.
just power through situations like this early in your career? All right, Andrew. Can I take this one first, Christy?
Yes,
All
please.
right. You know I'm terrible at cutting you off, and I'm working on it. I do apologize. All right. So,
No, you're fine.
um, what I would say when I get pulled onto a script and I just have zero interest in it, but I want the job, I want the credit, I want the payment, whatever. Um, I find something in that script that interests me, whether it's one of the characters that I can really lean into or the theme I can wrap my head around so that I get into it and then start writing from there. And then I throw my voice into it and inevitably that usually works out. So that's what I do. But if you can't find something in the script and you can power through it, but are you still providing a quality product? And that's the thing that
Mhm.
I would give you pause about, Andrew. What do you think, Christy?
It's absolutely same. I've been approached several times for projects, and I've kind of been in the same situation. And there's been times where I've really kind of dove in connected with the character, or there's something that really interests me that kind of drives my motivation, so that I kind of really connect and get more of a um, visual and emotional connection with the script.
Mhm.
But there have been times as well that it's been a genre, and it's been a story that just hasn't really resonated with me. And I'm very honest with the producer or whoever's kind of commissioning the project, and I let them know that I'm probably not the strongest or the best writer for this. And then I would give recommendations, because we all know people who write in certain genres
Oh,
and can
yeah,
probably
for sure.
take the role. So you just have to really kind of take a look at what the project is and see if there's anything that you really can connect with, and that would be enough for you to want to jump on board and move forward with it. But if you're reading through whatever they're sending you and it's not
Yeah.
connecting with you, I this is just being very blunt. Don't waste their time. Just be honest and say, I'm probably not the best writer for this. This isn't my strength is not in this genre.
Sure.
Um, that's fair to say.
Yeah. Okay. I think it's great advice. Arnie in Chains asks, do you have a checklist or template or general pointers for an amazing TV pilot, please? I actually do. So on the Successful Screenwriter website, if you join our membership, I have an entire course on how to write television and a pilot. And so I'd recommend going on there. I hate to show my own stuff, but that's why I do it, is I do it for people like you looking for that. And then when I have my second edition come out eventually, I will have the TV format on that as well. So, but do you have any tips, Christy?
Oh no, I would just recommend jumping on the Successful Screenwriter and following your outline, because that's what I would do.
We have so much stuff on the site. When I had to um, pull the site off of its former host and put it on a new host, the person who runs the host goes, "You got a big site." I was like, "I know, there's a lot of stuff." She's like, "There's almost too much stuff." I was like, "I know, but it's to help people." And so I actually had to pay for extra space to host the site because
Wow,
there's
really?
so much on there. Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Here, this is interesting, and I'm going to give you this one, Christy.
Oh.
You're in the hot seat, man. As a screenwriter, when I go to, oh, sorry, let me get that. Mama Greenfield. As a screenwriter, when I go to pitch my script, do I need to have a brand sponsor interest beforehand that might be included in the script? And would that
Oh,
influence the interest from the producer?
did you say brand sponsor? It kind of cut out
Yeah.
really quick there.
Yeah. She
Okay.
said, does she need a brand sponsor when she goes to pitch her script?
No, I,
No.
I wouldn't necessarily say that you need that at all. Your story is your story. You're there to pitch the script. Yeah, and you don't know where the producer's coming from. The producer could be coming in with their own sponsors on their back end. You might not even know that or be aware of that. So don't lock yourself into something like that. No, you're there to pitch your story. You're not there to pitch the brand, and that was what it seemed. It would seem like you are doing, is kind of pushing the brand along with what you're trying to do with your script.
I think that's great advice. That's perfect advice. Yeah, don't worry about it. You don't want to be there with Pepsi if the producer has Coke in their back
Yeah,
pocket. You know what I mean?
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Yep.
Now, if you're doing a documentary or if you're doing a film about Pepsi, then it's a whole different
Right.
question. And then we have to talk about rights, and you have to talk about if you have permission.
Hmm.
All right. I'm sorry, I'm reading. I'm slow. All right. So
No, you're okay. You're totally fine.
the dyslexia is killing me, especially when I have to read people's names. All right. All right. So she's asking, Mama Greenfield is essentially asking that she gets a lot of filmmaker discussions about writer directors who create content, but how to develop your film on your own versus sharing what happens if the buyer says yes. So she's essentially asking what happens after you have a successful pitch. So she's asking, like, do you do contracts, agents, rates? What are the next steps? I think that's a fair question.
Oh
Everybody
yeah,
does
yeah,
talk
absolutely.
about, landing the pitch. Nobody talks about what comes after, right?
Right, right.
So,
And you might not immediately go into a contract stage. That
yeah,
may just be that there's further interest, that it's a um, first level producer that's kind of going out and shopping around. You
yeah,
might do a shopper's agreement where they're interested in just kind of seeing if they can take your script and go shop it around for you. There's a number of kind of next steps that would happen. So you're not immediately going to jump into signing lots of
yeah.
contracts and things. But I absolutely would prepare yourself and be ready for, having if you've got a manager or an agent, being ready to move forward in the next phase, just depending on what that looks like and what the project is.
I think that's good. And to Miss Greenfield here, um, if you are going and pitching, I would recommend if you're at the page, the place where you're pitching, I would recommend that you already have an entertainment lawyer. I wouldn't say
Hmm.
go in and pitch empty-handed because then when you get to the contract phase, you don't have anybody to send that contract to. And you need someone to read that contract. You'll get
For
all
sure.
kinds of crazy clauses like in perpetuity and things like that that sound like a little word, and it just means they own you, what you're doing for the rest of your life. So I know
Right.
one. I know one writer who got lost in a contract and ended up working on the same project for spits and spurts for 5 years. Because he was locked
Hmm.
in on this contract. So yeah, definitely have an entertainment lawyer. And they range. You can have somebody who's thousands of dollars to somebody who's a few hundred. So like there are lawyers out there that are within your budget. You just have to find them. I have a couple that I've had on my show specifically for that reason.
Hmm.
So yeah, I would say make sure you have that when you get into it. Having a manager or an agent is nice, but I mean, it can be difficult to breach that gap, you know?
Yeah.
So, but having an entertainment lawyer who's looking out for you at that point can really help you feel more secure.
Yeah. That's actually great advice.
Yeah. I was going through several different entertainment lawyers trying to find the right one for me, and then once you find them, you're like, "You're my guy. Here's all my money." And
Oh, I know. I've got one. We've got one. We're lucky here. We've got a really
yeah,
amazing, awesome entertainment lawyer here in town who's actually in the business and does acting herself. So she's kind
that's
of
awesome.
everybody's go-to because she's just sharp and she knows what she's doing. So
That's great. Yeah, man. All right, I'm not seeing any other questions here. I think it's fantastic questions. Was there
yeah,
anything else, Christy?
no, it's just going to be an exciting 2026. Lots of projects coming up and movies coming up that I'm very excited to see and talk about.
Oh, absolutely. Is there anything I should catch this next week, or should I just watch all of the Fast and Furious movies because that's where my brain is going?
I almost want you to try to see if you can get
Okay,
through all 10 Fast and
here we
Furious
go.
movies.
It's game
And
on.
then we can talk about it next week, and that'll be one of my favorite episodes.
I will watch all 37 of the Fast and Furious films.
Well, it's
This
actually
week.
11 because if you count the Hobbs and Shaw spinoff, that's 11 movies, Jeffrey. You've got 11 movies.
I don't know if I can get through 11, dude. It's a lot. That might take a couple weeks. It's absolutely insane. I want to stay married. That's the thing.
Yeah, and I think by the time your wife is a very sharp, intelligent woman. By the
Oh,
time
man,
you get
she's
to
awesome.
the third movie, she's going to be like, "This is trash."
Yeah, we're
Not
out.
wanna
We're
watch it.
done. Hard stop. All right, I'll see you. I'll see you next week. You want to meet up again?
Let's do it.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Oh, it still says live. Hold on.